Hello, it's me, Shay. I just want to state my intention. My intention is to share my story and be able to build community and connections with people, help spread positivity and unconditional love. Also, be super authentic. Recently, what happened, I made a video about a guy, my first experience dating after narcissistic abuse, right? And I'm gonna go a little further into what happened. Before what I used to believe, and now I'm not sure if I still believe it. I'm kind of recognizing, is this a belief that I'm gonna let go of now, because I feel like it is, but I'm kind of like scared to let it go. uh it's like, has to do with like hookup culture, right? So like hookup buddies, casual hookups. And before, when I would have someone that I was hooking up with that we both decided we didn't want anything serious, it was just for that, I would compartmentalize them. And for me, this kind of worked. And I mean, everyone has their own whatever they believe. It's fine, whatever you think. But this is just what I think, thought. Not sure if I still believe it. I'm working through that. That's what I'm sharing. Uh, when I would hook up with somebody, I wouldn't really talk to them that much. Like, I wouldn't have a friendship or a relationship with them. I would only talk to them for that. So it was very transactional. It was like, we only talk to each other to fulfill primal needs, right? And to me, it was like, if we don't want anything more serious than this, then I'm not going to invest my energy and time and feelings or whatever, uh, or even like being nice to you extra or anything. I'm not going to give you any of that, because we already decided this is what we want, so let's do this. So I would like get upset, or I would like put a rule like, don't hold my hand, don't kiss me goodbye, don't freaking cuddle me, like don't text me how's your day, good morning, beautiful, anything. Like, don't do that, because with me, if I'm hooking up with you and then we start like hanging out and talking all the time and doing all this stuff, like I'm gonna, like, in my head, I'm gonna like start like getting all in my feels and like, oh yeah, baby. No, no. If we said it's a hookup, then it's a hookup. I'm not gonna let, in my head, this is my thought process, I'm not gonna allow myself to go into any of these relationship patterns or behaviors with you, because like, let's not muddy up the waters. And what's weird about that is sometimes guys don't like that I would do that, like, because like stereotypically guys are like the ones like that, and then women are all in love with them. But I kind of embodied that masculine side of myself, where I was like, no, we're just doing this, and this is what it is. And like, usually a lot of the time somebody catches feels, and even if you don't catch feels, you kind of get jealous. Anyways, so I had that idea, have it. I'm releasing that idea. There's this guy that I would hook up with randomly for like throughout the last 2 years a few times, and he is like so hot. Oh, this is so shadow. This is like so shadowy of me, like my whatever. But it pretty much is like lust. It's lust based with him, and I knew that. I had decided that 2 months ago that I was going to be celibate, because I was listening to a podcast with Bobby Lee, and he was talking about uh, how he quit drinking and drugs, and then he was doing the celibate journey because there's like a different aspect to self-discipline and learning about yourself when you go through that. And so I told myself, let's do that. And because I want to attract unconditional love and upbuilding relationships, and relationships full of mutual respect and reciprocity and stuff. So I was like, okay, no more hookups. Also, I wasn't even hooking up with anybody or anything, but I was just crossing that off my list. Like, I'm not gonna date anyone. I'm not really gonna give anyone a chance right now, because I'm working on loving myself so that I can attract loving connections, like not just romantic, like friendships and things that will help bring more fulfillment to my life. And so I had that, and I was doing good. Something happened. I was like, oh girl, I'm getting in my vibe. I love me making stupid videos. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm single, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's men, the universe. I don't know. When you're like, I'm good, I'm doing my thing, then somebody comes along and goes, yeah, I'm going to go in there and mess her stuff up. Oh, I'm not saying that's what happened, but I was in my vibe, and then this guy that I used to hook up with, that's like super, super yummy to me, messaged me. And then I was like, sorry, I can't. I'm being celibate right now. He's like, cool, that's good for you, I'm glad, blah, blah, blah. Then sends me another message later. And then I was like, sorry, I know, blah, blah, right? Then after he did that, he was like stuck in my head all day. And I'm like, come on, man. I was doing good. I was on my like me vibe, right? And then I'm just like thinking about him. And it's so lusty too, because like like really attracted to him. And I think that's the whole thing. That's the little dark side slipping in. It's like, but then he messaged me another day, and then after that, I was like, I give up. I give up. I'll come over. But the thing about that is like, even if I was on my progress of working on my focusing on myself and doing the celibacy thing, and maybe I mean I totally broke it, but even though I broke it, it doesn't mean that I didn't make progress. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that I'm not beating myself up over it and I'm taking what I've got gathered from that and learning from it, I think that's very important in my journey and like maybe anyone else's journey, you know? It's like the same thing with quitting drugs and alcohol. You will relapse, you know? I relapsed twice, I think. And then, like, is it twice? Anyways, but you still get back on and try again. Your progress isn't gone. You still learned lessons. You're still learning more lessons. Just get back on, try again. But anyways, I broke celibacy with him, right? Which it was a new concept, so like I'm still figuring out like how I feel about that concept. But him and I were just like in the old thought process that I had. We only talked for our to get our primal needs met, and that's it. I didn't even know him like that, like a friend or anything. And also think about how crazy that is that I just said that. I was hooking up with somebody I didn't know. You see, that's where I see disconnect. That's something my old self would do, and new self, girl, not never again, girl. Progress. Anyways, so then what had happened after we hooked up? Then I went to his house, and he was home alone, and we hung out for a few hours and talked. And that was the first time that we actually talked. And first of all, that goes against all the imaginary Shay hookup rules to hang out with somebody that you're just hooking up with that you don't want anything serious with, to sit and talk with them for hours. It doesn't make sense. I still don't know if I believe in that or not. Anyways, and what happened was, not only was he super hot, he was actually like really cool. And I don't even, okay, I'm getting weird because I feel uncomfortable sometimes when I'm being vulnerable and I don't like to share my feelings. So I'll do like weird faces and voices like this because I did have a, like, I guess I liked him, and that's me being trying to hide from the feelings. I guess I liked him, okay? Anyways, yeah, so after I talked to him, then I was like secretly, yeah, I kind of dig that guy. But then the next week, I went over again. He invited me over, and him and his roommate were hanging out, and I hung out with them and talked, and I had a good time again, and we talked for hours, a long time. And what was what what was interesting is, as we hung out, suddenly out of nowhere, a few times he brought up to me, "Would you be interested, or how do you feel about? I know we're not anything right now, but how would you feel about seeing where this goes? Maybe we could start talking and dating later. Not saying we're be anything serious, just feel it out." And then to me in my head, I'm like, because usually like I feel like the female does that, or the feminine one will be like, "I like you. What do you think?" And but I just had like have this wall, and so I was like, "This feels kind of set up ish. I don't know. It's a trap. Is it a trap?" And like I learned from having a serious talk about what me and him could be, and sitting together and discussing old relationship things and like vetting each other and learning things about each other from that night. I was super triggered, and just him being nice to me scared the shit out of me. And like that's crazy because like that's how much weird, traumatic, uncomfortable experiences I've been like going through these last few years, that when somebody is nice to me, it makes me feel unsafe and very scared. And it's also a an old belief system that I have of fear, that the second I'm gonna be vulnerable, especially with dating a narcissist, the second you get vulnerable, the second you show that you're interested, the second that you fully are dedicated to them, they flip the switch and they freaking destroy you, you know? And so there's that fear there that I have. And I didn't really know it because I wasn't in any dating situation, so I didn't know that that fear was there. And I mean, it's interesting to recognize now. And I shared with him a few things with the relationship with my ex, and then he was like, that makes sense why you act a certain way. I get it now. And I was like, yeah, that's why I act like that. And then he told me, Shay, it makes me feel bad that you went through that. If you want, we could like start dating. I could start courting or like dating you for real, and we could stop hooking up and start dating, and we can just hook up when you feel comfortable enough again. And that was his idea. And I was like, number one, that to me, perfect idea, honestly, in all honesty. Number two, fear, scared. No, he's lying, he's lying, he's lying, right? I was like, there's no way that this guy is actually real. And the difference, the progress from my narcissistic relationship to this one is when my ex did the same thing. So that's where the fear comes from. My ex sat me down, Shay, I really care about you. I'm really falling in love with you. You're so everything, and I want to take care of you. I want to treat you right and show you what it's like to be treated right. I want you to be my girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, yay, he's nice. I like him. You're mine. You have my trust. No further investigations. And that got me into, whoa, lots and lots of unsafe situations. And so the progress now with this guy is he says similar things. Doesn't mean he's a narcissist. It just means like uh, a narcissist mirror nice people. And also like he could be saying that, but I didn't know his full intention. And the difference before, I jumped right in. But this time, I kept myself separate. I didn't start attaching myself and becoming super invested in that immediately, because I have to wait for him to match his words to actions. So, as secretly excited I might have been, I also checked myself before I wrecked myself. Because a lot of men, women, people, anyone, business partners, family members, whoever, will tell you a lot of things just because they want to get something out of you or whatever. But you have to take the time period. You have to allow time and situations to play out. And you have to like really pay attention to their words and their actions and watch it. So that's what I did. It's a lot of progress for me to be able to recognize the difference of what I did before and now. I don't know what's going on with that guy that I was like hooking up with that said he liked me and kept talking about how he liked me. And I'm not really going to go into details of that, but like let's just say the outcome right now doesn't feel too favorable to me, which is fine. And that's just another thing. It's just like I'm so awesome. Or like, I don't know, I'm like working super hard on focusing on myself and releasing old thought patterns and beliefs. So like now, let's say the situation isn't favorable for me. And what the old me would do is just keep calling and texting and getting mad and telling everyone over and over and keep talking about it and thinking about him and putting all the problems on him and saying everything's his fault and just focusing on everyone else around me and how it's all their fault. But right now, I'm in a place where it's like, well, it didn't work out, but what did I learn from this? What did I do right? Because I did a lot of things right, guys. Like, girl, we think we freaking making progress over here. We loving ourselves. And like, even if it doesn't work out, if somebody doesn't want to be with you, instead of before what I did, like with my narcissistic ex, why does he treat me this way? This makes my value and my worth is nothing. Instead of personalizing the way somebody decided to treat you, you don't personalize it. It has nothing to do with you. Whatever he decided, my narcissistic ex, or this super hot guy that I kind of liked, whatever they decided to do or treat me, however they did, doesn't really have to do with me. It has to do with their own stuff that's going on. And I don't have to take that and think that I'm worth any less because I know I'm not. Like, I don't know. And then just keep to continuously go through these, even when things don't work out in relationships with people. Like, it's such a huge shift in identity for me to not freaking be dying over some boy. Because, oh my God, it's crazy. Because, like, I mean, there was a good minute where I was kind of sad, but, like, you have to feel that. You feel the sadness. I wrote in my diary about it. Maybe I cried. Don't tell anyone. But that's it. And then I go, okay, thank you for these feelings. I recognize some part of myself of something that I'm longing for, I guess, connection and whatnot. And what better way to have connection than to freaking love yourself, bro? And like, it just is what it is. And it's okay. Like, because something bad happens doesn't mean that everything is bad, and you don't have to continue to stay in that loop of, oh, bad things are happening, bad things are happening, bad things are happening. You could say something bad happened. It's okay. It is what it is. It's really hard. It takes a lot of practice. It's taken a very long time to get here. But I'm just so glad to be here. I'm so grateful. Aha! And I'm even making a YouTube video about it. It's such a long video, but if you watch this video, first of all, you are the real ones, and thanks for watching. And you guys deserve unconditional love and respect and validation. I hope you found what you needed to from this video. Uh, have a good time. Have a good life. Bye.